Alright, time to start chapter 11.
Chapter
Okay.
Which is actually the last one, if I recall correctly. No, it's not the last one, but it's like the penultimate one. Yeah, because it consists on 2 major levels.
And so it begins. The necromancer's abyss lies at his feet. He is dark and terrible, and the cries of the dead follow him wherever he goes. There is
it's a good place to bathe in the sun, Dibs, I guess.
Hates for those
Again,
who have
ironically,
taken
the
his
land of the
beloved,
dead is pretty
who
sunny
have
and
made
warm.
him do terrible things.
A bit
who have
dry,
damaged
though.
his
Rayman?
humanity. Now,
Yes.
reap the whirlwind.
Yeah, Leonard.
Saying that
scions
as
of
the
death,
ultimate insult to
for
dead
comes the
people.
Prince
It's
of
nice and sunny
Darkness.
here. Pity you can't feel it because you're dead.
Also, the Tomb of the Ancient manages to be more scary, just for the music alone.
So, did you see that the land of the dead has better weather than Britain?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's just as cloudy as it is here in Britain, but it's not raining.
Suddenly, that makes me wonder if this is implying that Britain is full of vampires, since apparently the weather at Castlevania is more.
According
fitting
to Vampire the
Britain.
Masquerade Jova, yes. As well as America.
So basically what you're telling me, Dwebs, is that this is exactly why Luca had to take place in Italy and not in Britain, because the plot wouldn't even work.
Because the characters' human skin would constantly coming off.
You know, the thing about Luca now is that if you Twitter search "I wish," if the first result is Italians were real. Like,
Yeah.
Christ.
Again, I will explain a bit better on another occasion, because now we start immediately with one of the more interesting puzzles of the game. There is a message that appears frequently in Necromancer lore, sometimes referred only as the key, which seems important to enter their domains. The 4th week of the month of the Virgin, the shadow will be more powerful than the light, and the path of the abyss shall be revealed. I have been waiting for that day for months. Now, but time seems to have frozen since I've arrived. This knight was kind of an idiot, because what you actually need to do is to use the device of the Necromancer right there, which is similar to a planetarium, in order to align with a day, a cycle of the sun and moon, and a zodiac sign. There you go. On the top, on the right, is the cycle of a moon, which represents a moment where the eclipse might happen. At the center there are numbers, and at the left are the zodiac signs. So we need to use Virgo, the Virgin one. There we go.
I really like this theme.
It's very triumphant in a way. And yes, by doing this, you manipulate. There you go. The actual phasing of the sun in order to create the eclipse that you need.
I'm trying
It's just
to...
a matter of positioning correctly. I forgot exactly which particular symbol you need, but again, it's actually one of the more interesting puzzles. You know, it also affects the environment.
I'm trying to remember if this theme may have come from the original Castlevania timeline
No,
as well.
it's not a remix. I can tell you this. I'm just checking again, just to be sure. 4th week of the month, which means between 21 and 28.
4 months
now
off the bout
time's
of the
frozen.
Virgin,
Well,
2
yes,
weeks off
so
the
we-
bout of a Chad.
Oh man,
Execute Order 66.
that is not how it works, Dibs.
Which order is that?
I like a large. No.
Yeah,
No, that's
yeah.
not.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not.
Imagine if Palpatine went
Was
to
in
a
San
fast food.
Andreas.
He went to a fast food restaurant and he says, "Can I have?"
I'll have
order
2 number 9s, number 9 large,
Large.
number 6 with extra dip, 2
Yeah.
number 40 number 7, 1 number 45, 1 with
And then
cheese,
order
and a
66.
large soda.
And then,
Smoke is fine, but I prefer Ryder.
and then, as someone calls out, "Which is Order 66?" It triggers the clones by mistake, and they kill the Chancellor because I don't know, he probably didn't program it right, and says anyone who's force sensitive must die.
So
There we
anyway,
go.
though,
There we go, Virgin 25th and the Eclipse. And now, and by the way, the eclipse will stay like this for the rest of the game, meaning that, you know, we're representing this in a more ominous way.
A nice
Even the music
shade of
is like,
red.
Well done.
Dawn of... I guess you can say it's a dawn of sorrow.
kinda,
Well done,
I guess.
Well done, sir. You have created the world's first skylights.
Also, considering our necromancers, as you will see later, kind of float most of the time, I don't know why do they need an actual path. But now we immediately get another puzzle. This one is a bit more creative. You need to recreate that pattern, but in order to move like kind of an electric current in the indicated path. But in order to do so, actually, no, let me read the description. Colors or movements, that was what the witch said before bringing me here. At first I didn't know what she was talking about, but now I'm sure that it is related to these tiles in the ground.
You know, I love how this implies that this guy was literally on the he was literally on the massive land not too far from one of his comrades, so...
Okay, what you need to do is to use the tiles to your advantage, there you go, to move the thing. And you need to press them using the gauntlet. The more exterior tiles represent up, the second more internal layer right, the third one left, and the more internal one down. So you need to follow up, right, up, left, down, left, up, right, up. And finally, you have to beat it there.
As long as you've got a trusty gauntlet, you can make it through. Which will just lead me to ask how any other soldiers we see past this point made it through.
Maybe a hammer worked just as much, Jova.
Perhaps.
So, it might be possible that some of these warriors had different armaments.
Wow, it even comes with its own choir and everything. That's
It's
nice.
the puzzle solve jingle, Jova.
I like to imagine that Def hired a choir to
And now we
celebrate the
have to
opening of
think
his
with
passage.
portals. Basically, now we have to use these mini portals in order to actually gain the upper advantage, you know, towards the ledges. Unfortunately, we also have the new enemy type, and it's one of the more dangerous one in the game, the Reaper. Only powerful sorcerers can summon and control these dangerous spirits. The Reapers are corporeal manifestation of death itself. Their aspect depends on the beliefs of those who confront them, but most people perceive the Reapers as skeletal figures with long tunics, wielding large scythes. Basically, these are glass cannons. You can destroy them relatively easily, but if they come in contact with you, just one swing over scythe will take away a huge chunk of your health, even on easy mode. So as you can imagine, in harder difficulties, they are like a one-hit kill. So you need to defeat them as soon as you can. The problem is that they are always not alone. They're never alone. They're always like in large packs, meaning that you always need to be careful. No. But again, the trade-off is the fact that they're very fragile, meaning that if you can actually focus on them, you will be able to defeat them quickly. But they compensate this by being, you know, in packs that you need to defeat. Yes, Jova?
Yeah, it's a pretty nifty angle that way, and you can bet that they would probably swarm you in numbers.
The point is that there you go. Once you reach, you have to use these mirrors to teleport in between the three towers. Using this this eagle eye view, kind of like again Lord of the Rings influence definitely shows here.
Now we're playing with portals.
Keep that phrase in mind, Edge. There's a scroll I want you to read later that has extra irony on it.
All right, for magic.
Sorry.
Who's the Cave Johnson of the Castlevania universe?
Oh, sadly we do not have a character voiced by J.K. Simmons, even though that would have been absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, also as you can imagine, due to the constant storm surrounding the three towers, this is where the frame rate can chug up the most. So bear with it. Go away. Ah.
Plenty of them. Nice.
Kratos, you have forsaken us.
Yeah,
No,
not
wrong
really.
guy.
Also, aside from one case, I don't remember any particular ghost enemies. At least in the Olympus saga. Like I said, there is one case. It's more story related, which since I'm not spoiling that.
Are you talking about God of War Fury?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it is kinda reprised as well for the purpose of the first of the Norse saga. And even then, in general, I'm talking about the appearance in God of War 3. It doesn't. Okay, it's not like it doesn't make too much sense, but it's admittedly left unexplained. I mean, I didn't mind that, but admittedly, it could have been better if it was given a more definitive answer. Instead, it just left a bit hanging on how things turn out like that. But that's a story for another game. Now you have to again by using these. Oh, there we go. Now we're using the mirror. We can teleport into these crucial points of the three towers where we can fight the actual necromancers. Necromancy is the most evil of all schools of magic and can be only performed by the followers of the Dark Lord of the Dead. Like vampirism and lycanthropy, the powers necessary to control the energies of the deceased are not easily acquired. Dark Lord only shares a small part of his power with the followers, who themselves must die in order to use the abilities given to them. Once dead, they become his thralls, and their master is able to control them with his own considerable power.
How nice. In order to become a necromancer, you have to die.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a trade-off, I suppose.
And what a sublime trade-off, I guess. As far as they're concerned, I suppose.
Pretty much. Okay, it's common. It's a common thing in fantasy media about necromancers to be people who wish to something like, say, eternal life or to extend their own lifetime, and once they decide to use this ritual to die naturally, but then get applied to this undead state where yes, they retain their consciousness, but at the same time, they cannot naturally die. The trade-off of that job is that as a result, they become this unholy abomination, but as a result becomes very weak towards, let's say, holy equipment or blessing and such, like saying in Dungeons and Dragons. And as a result, they cannot conduct a complete normal lifestyle like they had. Ow. So that's basically your program, your chances. Like, do you want to live forever but in this kind of state? If so, well, good for you, I guess.
Yeah, what were Isaac and the other guy from Castlevania?
Beastmasters. They were more like
Forge Masters. That's what.
Forge Masters. They were more like humans who became at the service of Dracula, and as a result did gain powers. But I don't think they're completely undead. Maybe
No, they're human. It's just one of those. It's like the Forge Master feels like necromancy when you get down to it.
It's not entirely it. A Forge Master is somebody who has some mastery over the dead, but they're not necessarily necromancers.
No.
They're okay. Think about it like sort of more so with alchemy and stuff, and also the fact that they have power over curses and can cancel out or
and even in general,
them.
they are able to summon creatures that are not just undead. Remember, the first thing that Hector can summon, that Isaac, or whatever, the protagonist of Curse of Darkness can summon is a fairy.
That's Hector, yeah.
So, yeah, Isaac is the rival.
One. But it's okay because Hector
which
gets
in the game is voiced by Liam O'Brien as complete psychopath, but in the Netflix series instead he's much more serious and instead he's African in terms of ethnicity.
It's funny because Isaac kills Hector's love. Hector gets back at Isaac by settling down with his sister.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, Didge?
I said owned.
Yeah.
But when your former coworker kills the love of your wife, so you bang his sister.
Pretty much.
With a bit of help from Trevor.
Yeah. Honestly, if there's one thing I would like to see is maybe have Konami release like a chronological compilation of games or whatnot.
That ain't happening.
I know, because Konami got a Konami, but I'm just talking about how cool that would actually be. And again,
I don't want to say it's like because Konami got Konami. It's more like different gameplay style, so they're better off like releasing a collection
in groups of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like the
that's why it seems that so.
Games,
yeah, which is why it seems also that they're compiling all the Game Boy Advance games in one. Even though, for example, for the Sorrow trilogy, it would made a bit more sense if they were actually grouped together instead of just being separated. Then again, Konami apparently took very seriously the gimmicks of the Nintendo DS, because in the Castlevania DS games have a lot of touchscreen, support in terms of what you do.
They can revamp it. Just look at the Mega Man ZX games. They're pretty.
To give an example, actually, that you can try to riddle this for me. Order of Ecclesia requires you to actually draw the symbols of the things that you need to cast. Like, how do you transplant that? I know that in Inokuni, when actually given the PS3 game, they actually did ditch that entirely by just having you cast. But in Castlevania Order of Ecclesia, it's like a key component for the action gameplay, where you need to cast the right symbol at the right time. I'm not sure in what way can be reworked effectively.
Oh, I have an idea.
Go on.
It's called buttons. Just do glorify QTEs. Or do the common sense thing and just remove it entirely. You don't have to make that part of the key.
I mean,
key
that's thing,
kind of the
though.
problem, Dej. Again, it's a key component. Same goes for how Soma Cruz binds creatures in Dawn of Sorrow by using the stylus paint. Especially because right now we're about to get, if I recall correctly, a scroll. Yes, there it is.
Hello, fellow soldier. How the hell did you get all the way up
Actually,
here?
I might as well read this one. Why not? That could also give time to Shirei. Sorry, Dej. I'm trapped on these floating rocks. This land is a huge, insane puzzle with hundreds of mirrors that can transport you anywhere. Such is the so-called aperture magic. And go, Shirei. The problem is working out which mirrors take you where. I have been here all along and I cannot move. Get it, guys? If you don't remember, again, 2010, this was in between, if I recall correctly, Portal 1 and 2. So using the whole memes about the cake is a lie and referencing Portal were super common at this point. So like I'm going to cut the game some slack on that.
That was literally
after you mentioned Cave Johnson.
YouTube humor. The cake is a lie. I was like, yeah.
Do you understand my gamer humor?
You had to be there when it first happened, Dej.
Again, Dej, keep also that thought in mind. There's a bit, I think, in one of the extras part.
Also, Dej, when you ask if there's an equivalent to Cave Johnson, what aspect are you referring to?
He didn't ask that. That was me.
No. Well, that's why I asked, Dej. What did you
said Dweb. I thought you said Dweb. So I'm like, oh.
No. I said Dej. Don't worry, I don't mistake you with Dwebs.
Okay, at least someone does. Just in terms of snarkiness and being an a-hole, or it's like, oh, I want to do the better of mankind, and then you got desperate.
That's kind of Dracula.
And then got intoxicated by moon dust. Not even joking.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I guess.
They're poisonous. Bottom anyway.
I guess.
But hey, at least it's what helped me to make portal technology.
How did Shell manage to not get intoxicated?
Because she was in her room at the time.
Technology has improved, so they.
I guess.
Anyway, Dej, I suppose the best equivalent would be Dracula himself in the original timeline. Seeing as how he is kind of like that.
Okay, I guess the priest Shaft might fit a bit.
Yeah, Shaft's more a follower of Dracula, and Dracula has at some point in time tried to quote-unquote improve the human race. Luckily enough when he's not trying to destroy us all.
But don't you see, Jova, thanks to the Area of Sorrow, we know that it wasn't really his fault. It was the castle, the real problem.
Yeah.
Okay, this requires a bit of context. Area of Sorrow tries to justify a bit about the lore of the series and how Dracula keeps coming back every time, and his castle is able to be wherever the fuck he wants. And basically states that there's an evil energy inside the castle, that manages to allow it to teleport anywhere, and periodically after Dracula gets defeated, manage to resurrect it as a being, The Netflix series applies a different concept by having the castle actually having a teleport engine room,
Yeah, all
which is pretty
machinery.
badass. And even more badass is that Sophia manages to fuck it up pretty much on her own. It's pretty amazing as a sequence in season 2.
It sort of comes to the side effect of her dropping a castle on the Belmont property, which ironically
still,
makes
I'm gonna take it because holy shit, she managed to do that on her own anyway.
Yeah, you gotta love the irony though that because of that, Dracula's castle is now in the same neighborhood as the Belmonts. It's like
Poetry.
perfect poetry, yeah.
Especially because according to the artwork in the series, it seems we're still counting Lament of Innocence as canon anyway.
Definitely.
So the common origin of Dracula and the Belmonts seems to be staying the same.
And speaking of which, Tio, I wonder, do you think maybe it might have been better if they saved Dracula's defeat for the final season as opposed to it being, just the second of 4 seasons?
Okay, I mentioned it before, but I would have preferred if the series was a bit more similar to the games. They do apply a lot of changes, but I have to admit, Season 1 is a prelude to the events of Castlevania 3, and 2 having a different take on them is still relatively nice. Again, Season 3, the one that it's a bit more awkward, and Season 4, despite telling a different, a different story anyway, it's still a decent conclusion. We'll have to see what they do with the upcoming spin-off 1 titled Richter. Supposedly, I guess, the events of Round of Blood. But we'll see what happens there.
It is a weird bout of events here. I get the feeling...
I'm gonna take it mostly because it's an interesting way to see the franchise being revitalized. And again, you have to remember that Konami has to approve everything tied to that. They have a way of saying if at any moment there's not like something, they have the power to stop them, but they have not so far. So that's actually pretty generous of them.
I think my stance is it feels like they didn't know where to go after season 2.
Oh, fuck me, these necromancers
God.
starts summoning reapers.
But yeah, the semblance I get with the Castlevania Netflix series is they have the plan as far as, storming the castle and defeating Dracula, but didn't know where to go based off of how season 3 is. And trust me,
okay, minor question about season 3.
Yes.
That priest, the one that's friendly with the Belmonts.
Yeah.
He's a jerk, isn't he? Or the judge, the head of that village where Trevor and
Cypher.
Pretty sure he
Okay,
died.
Yeah, he dies in season at the beginning of, or either at the end of season 1 or beginning of season 2. I forgot which
End of
specific
season
point.
No, the judge that was in season 3.
I forgot.
What about him?
Is he an a-hole?
Okay, Dej, the theme of season 3 might as well be that most people are an a-hole.
Okay.
Maybe season 3's main purpose was to set up for season 4, but season 3 feels like a slug. And what's worse, a regressing of Alucard's character. Seriously, Alucard did not deserve what happened to him in that season. Ugh.
Yeah.
So you need to just figure out who's the biggest asshole.
Well, Shiroi, for that, let's just say there's these 2 people that Alucard takes under his wings, and oh boy, it does not end well. Does not end well.
As a tragedy, there's some potential, but it's the execution that is to be desired. But again, they're just not finished the season 3 anyway, so for the purpose of it,
I'll just say this without spoiling. Like I said, it feels like a regressing of Alucard's character, and I did not like it.
It also doesn't have a season 3 has considerably less type of humor. I mean, of any kind, because the series until with season 1 and 2, this franchise, the series tended to have some kind of snark. It wasn't already a comedy, but there were some funny moments, mostly dictated by the contrast between Trevor and Alucard, for example, or even Sypha and Trevor, which also made the romance much more believable, Season 3 is very, very, very dry in terms of that. It wants to take itself a lot more seriously.
Thankfully, from what I've seen, season 4 brought back a lot of the humor.
Yeah. Fuck.
I get the feeling that there were a lot of complaints with season 3, and thankfully whoever's behind the Netflix series took that to heart.
13 Castlevania reasons why.
Oh, okay. Although it is hilarious that everyone talked about the humor, that they brought back humor in a time where everyone was making fun of the Josh Wheaton brand of humor. I just remember someone complaining about this, whoops.
I think you mean Josh Whedon. You said Josh. You said Josh Wheaton. That's the protagonist.
Whatever.
That's the protagonist of God's Dead.
He's irrelevant. Sure, that dude's gonna be blacklisted in Hollywood too.
Well, massive interesting thing. The writer of the guy who wrote the Castlevania Netflix show is in a bit of hot water himself.
And now we have to take the final mirror, if I recall correctly, through spine, a very big vertebral.
Wow.
Jesus, this beast was clearly big.
Yeah.
It's a good thing it's dead.
Yeah, sure would suck if it became alive all of a sudden.
Jove, in order to do that, we will need some kind of necromantic power, and thank God we don't have that.
Oh yeah, totally. In the land of the dead, there is no sense of necromancy here.
It's a great thing.
We believe in what is dead staying dead in the land of the dead.
Anyway, small detour because if I recall correctly, yes, there's another collectible. It's another gem, so no need for scrolls. In fact, I think the upper...
that hot water thing?
Yeah.
You wanted to go on with it, Dibs?
Nah, that's all really.
Okay.
I don't want this commentary to get bogged down in that kind of stuff.
Why did you bring it up then?
He's like, you can't just drop a bombshell like that.
Well, since you mentioned Joss Whedon, and I thought you mentioned Castlevania.
Okay. Here's an idea. Just elaborate on why he's in the hot one, and then we can move on.
Stuff involving gaslighting and
oh, great.
all the sorts of pretty shitty stuff like that.
So when you mentioned gaslighting, giving a certain revelation that will happen in this series.
But it doesn't really concern us because
be spoiling now, wouldn't it, Dwigs?
Not just that. Again, we're at the end of the level. The next one is actually the last of chapter 11 because it's now time to face the Lord of the Necromancers, the second in command, the one who serves death.
Yes. So think. Who serves death? Who normally serves death?
For a necromancer, but let's just say that this one is a bit more powerful.
He shall have it. A killing machine without remorse, without pity. What has happened to you, Gabriel? What have you become?
Zobek, we will appreciate if you were less theatrical and started fucking helping us.
My friend. Your quest is almost over. The dream is in sight.
So you want him to pull his out of his goddamn ass?
Death.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Defeat it. The mask is a powerful device, and he who wields it can do anything.
So it's the Cosmic Cube.
Bring back the dead, rule the world, destroy the universe, challenge God himself. You are the one, Gabriel. You are
Patrick,
the one.
Calm down. You just need to read the line.
Theo, you get Patrick Stewart. You get what you pay for.
But you were going to say you get what you deserve.
We're also nearly at the end too. Let him be dramatic.
And yes, the Necromancer is the same voice actor as the Abbot in the that was in the village, but it's fine.
By whose authority? What right do you have to judge
Okay,
me?
mister, this kind of talking does not really work, so just shut up and die.
The devil is a Welsh
You
accent, apparently.
revel in death. We are one and the same. You and I.
Yeah.
You will not
Yeah,
stop me.
Gabriel's reaction says it all. Fuck off.
No, I will not.
Yeah,
stop
he
you.
actually means it. He's not gonna be the one stopping us.
Gaze upon glorious death.
So the Necromancer is voiced by Adrian Schiller, who is not Welsh, actually. He's from London.
London.
Oh,
So let's just say, again, this one being a bit more powerful is gonna fuse his own essence with something else. See, like I said, a long time ago we did fought 2 titans, but we were missing like a third one. So, yeah, let's just say that the thing that we thought was dead is not really dead.
It was Monsieur Dark in Beauty and the Beast 2017.
Huh. It's a fucking undead zombie dragon. So, yeah, Gabriel, how do you even get on top of this fucking thing?
It did.
Well, we have to find a way, Libs. It actually kind of reminds me of the final boss, one of the final bosses in Angel of Mana, but there you go, Drake Rich Titan. Necromancers are evil wizards who can control the dead with dark powers. The most common belief is that the power is limited to deceased humans, but in fact it encompasses all dead creatures as demonstrated by this monster, the animated carcass of a dragon. These massive creatures are in our prehistoric past, died long before the Necromancers came to this land, and was buried under tons of rock, eventually becoming a fossil. When the Dark Lord built this fortress in desolate land, he discovered the carcass and reconstructed it using magical runes to bind evil spirits to the ancient bones. Should the necessity arise, this monster is able to perform one last trick for his master. So yeah, first we need to get on top of this thing. And yeah, it's not pretty easy, but
And get burned.
there we go. Thanks to the grappling hook, we're able to actually stand to one of these lower bows. I don't even know what it represents. Thankfully, this particular titan doesn't shake as much, but you still need to be on your guard because again, it's flying all over the place and everything. Pretty much.
Wow, How to Train Your Dragon is a pretty dark ending.
Maybe this is the actual final boss of the 4th movie. I don't know. Well, Jova, how did the Netflix series the Netflix series had a zombie dragon? Oh.
So here's what happened. DreamWorks secretly made a 4th film that was never meant to be released, and all the dragons were killed by this thing. And now all of a sudden, this guy has become the new main character because people hate Hiccup's voice apparently, and he has to save the day.
I thought they only hated the video game version, which, look, James Arnold Taylor is a good voice actor, but he was just badly directed for those.
Really? I thought they got the actual guy back for the games.
No, I think it is James Arnold Taylor.
I thought it was...
Oh, I'm gonna check in the meantime, why not? Because again, for a time, the Auto Train Your Dragon video games.
Oh, that. No, I don't think Jay Baruchel reprised his role now.
And again, from the footage that Kadikaru showcased, it definitely sounds like James Arnold Taylor. Again, I'm checking though, don't worry.
I mean, Jay Baruchel was in the Netflix shows, but I don't think he was in the video games now.
Jesus.
Hold R2 to grip.
Yeah.
Be careful too, you'll run out of grip meter.
No, thankfully I don't. Again, it's very creative, the fact for this one you need to actually jump around and all over the place the actual decaying walls. It even actually has a different music. Later on we will actually get the theme used for the Titans. So there is that. Oh, there you go, Jova. Did you actually watch the How to Train Your Dragon Netflix series?
Yes.
Was there at any point an undead dragon?
I don't remember, but there may have been.
Okay.
So basically, we're riding the corpse of Phalanx from Shadow of the Colossus, it appears.
Kinda, only that this time he's pissed, so...
Well,
yeah.
I mean, given what Wander did to him, can you blame him?
Nope.
Shadow of the Colossus.
No, not the...
Shadow
Well,
of
that's
the
the
Hedgehog.
thing. That's the thing. The only thing that these kinds of bosses, especially this one, it just screams Shadow of the Colossus. So I don't even know what else.
I'm talking about the design. It
Oh, the design.
me.
That's the thing, it
Oh,
reminds me also of
Shadow
Shadow of the
of the
Colossus.
Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yes! Yes! That's the other one I mentioned.
Shadow-
Probably Shadow the Hedgehog.
Why did Shadow the Hedgehog have a skeletal flying dragon?
It had something akin to that in one of the Black Arms' thingamabobs. It's also sort of similar to Sky Ruins.
Or the Galaxy? War Galaxy have that?
I don't think so, bitch.
Look, it's reminding me of something I played, and I know I have not played Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay, so maybe it is from Shadow the Hedgehog then.
Okay, Jova, for the things that I played of Shadow of the Hedgehog, I don't remember either a particular like flying the seas beast.
Oh, trust me, you need to play.
Did you play Devil May Cry 3, Dad?
Oh my god, maybe that's it.
It's the Leviathan that sucks in Dante in Chapter 7, I think.
Also, to answer your question regarding
it
the
is.
flying beast, Sky Ruins or Shadow the Hedgehog. You may not have
Okay.
played that level though. Anyway.
Okay, no, like I said,
It
the
was a
path that-
neutral path.
I think, okay, I forgot which specific path I chose, but the one that I rage quit the game was at when Shadow has to actually drop, like, it's like a vertical level and Shadow has to drop onto platform while the arc is collapsing or something.
That's falling
Someone
impact.
Somebody at Mercury's team is a big Wada fan, apparently.
Also, the level you're thinking of Sky Troops, Joe, not Sky Road.
No. I said Sky Ruins, but yeah, you're right, Sky Troops. Also, where the heck is this giant guy even flying to of all this distance?
In circles.
Sure. I'm thinking right now. Question: You said in Ni no Kuni to run. You said specifically, it's important to remember that when Hino homages something, he's never subtle about it. And then immediately we start the Ace Attorney homage, and you even react with, again, what did I just say? So what do you think? Is this just as unsubtle of an homage to Shadow Colossus as Ni no Kuni 2 was homaging Ace Attorney? Or is it more or less?
Less, I guess.
There we
What
go.
of all coincidences that this really is just a coincidence?
Now it's pretty, there you go, now it's going vertically, so it changes also your perspective to go.
Hang in
We're
there,
still not going
Gabriel.
through space, by the way, though.
Wee.
How high can this guy fly?
It's more convenient for us because this way, this way we can actually reach the next weak point and attack it there.
It's okay.
Otherwise it
I
would have
was
been
also
very...
thinking of Mario Kart 8, the Bone Dry Ruin stage.
Yes.
That's a more plausible chance.
Does it have a flying segment? We need to transform the cart.
Yes.
Sorta, yeah, technically. There's a yeah.
There we go.
Hit the weak point.
Attack weak point for massive damage.
Pretty much.
Well, in Colossus, you have to attack the weak point for damage at all. Not
So
just
that's your question, Dej. I don't know. I see Genji Days of a Blade regularly sold for like $4 in store, so I'm eventually planning on getting it. But again, considering it's kind of like a sequel to, you know, the Genji game on PS2, I would like to see first how it is. And yes, by the way, there you go. If you actually fail the QT, you die like that. The dragon just eats you. Thankfully, again, the checkpoints are relatively fine. I just thought it was kind of hilarious to show.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Dej, basically at some point I will get it and see for it myself, including a giant enemy crab.
Yes, that game. Seriously though, I swear, the majority of games shown at Sony E3 2006 were cursed one way or another. We had that game,
Yep.
we had Lair, we had Sonic 06, we had Final Fantasy 13.
Well, again, those are third party. Even the first parties were not saved. Like, again, Folklore was probably the one that got saved the most because it was just that early in development. So, and if I remember, it was even another different title. But
Remember too, I did
stuff
mention
like,
Lair.
there was also that one game that had like the CGI trailer that had like the guy lighting the gas with his cigarette, but when it got eventually cancelled. There was a new Getaway game that got cancelled. There was a Konami game that was supposed to be exclusive, but then got cancelled as well. A lot of stuff actually.
Yeah.
There was Gran Turismo, who looked like just an upscaled PS2 game. Shit. Okay, the dragon is almost down. It actually only has one more weak point.
The face.
Closer. You will see in a second.
If it's a nutsack, I'm leaving.
No, it doesn't even have it.
You tend to leave those
Thankfully.
behind when you die, Dej.
Oh,
Don't tell
fuck me. Gabriel's face.
Oh my god.
It's inside his mouth.
What Gigamax form is this?
Salamander, Garchomp. You have to wait until it charges the laser. Basically, you need to wait until it charges, the breath by going inside the mouth. Here you go. You have to wait until the last second and then essentially bum rush and start punching it.
Cause a backfire in his throat.
Like, this is some violation of common sense if I ever saw it.
Cryptic
There we
enough
go.
for you?
Punch.
Pop it!
There we go.
Guess he
All
bit
right,
off
Gabriel.
more than
Yeah.
he could chew.
Ha.
No. Bad.
That an epic enough death for you?
Gabriel, you're right.
I'm alright.
It's but a scratch.
A scratch. Your arm's off.
No, actually, it's right there. Now,
Basically, now we just need to use the energy that he has collected in the gauntlet to reassemble a bit the columns and reach the arena where we will have to fight the Lord of the Dead.
Not a good dead second in command did him.
Mm-hmm. Whoop.
How long does that thing
I
do?
scream.
It's gonna be fun having to
And there
make
you
your
have
way
it.
back.
We're gonna find a way with Jova. So it's true. Pan is kind of dead, so we cannot have eagles to help us. Anyway, tune in for the next part where we confront the Lord of the Dead, save the day, and finish the game. So stay tuned for that.
See you then.
See ya.